he had cheese, saltines, and wine every night. Low-end wine, low-end cheese, saltines. He collected coins. That one lasted a while. Wayne and I remember jogging, like when we lived in town. He became a runner, and he was obsessed with it. And he would run as fast as he could, like out the front door, down to the park and back. And Wayne doesn't think it lasted a week. I think it lasted a couple weeks, but he got such bad shin splints that he's like, this is not happening. And then I also thought remember how he used to really value like bridge night or monthly night out for dinner, where he and Mom actually went on a lot of dates.
The Roadrunner Club.
The Roadrunner Club, and I remember bridge when I was a kid being like Mom and Dad's like mystery night, because it was the one night of the month that we weren't like all up in it together. So the other thing I just put was, which I think was kind of a big deal, but he really cared about all of the Iowa sports teams, and he also cared about all the teams that meant anything to anybody here for any reason. So he always looked for William in the LSU games. He followed Oregon, like whatever. And of course, little Kiefer, Mom loves to tell the story about being at Uncle Neff's and having some random lady come up to her and say, did you know that there's someone named Garton playing on the TV right now? And my mom, who never said anything bad about anybody, was just like, how could she be such an idiot? Of course I knew that. I was like sitting right there at the TV. Like, it was so funny. But anyway, Dad actually loves sports a lot. And my brothers aside, I think that that's one of the many things he likes that my husband brought to the family, was more conversation about sports. So that's it. Thanks for the participation. I'm going to keep the list. But anyway, I think Dad's constant love of learning and his joy for everything was such a good balance for Mom, and the life we got to have having them as parents. I think we're all pretty lucky. So there you go. Okay, Sarah, you're going to be next. And just so everyone knows, just a few people have things to say. A couple of people are going to share things that Mom wrote, and then we'll come back together at the end. There you go. Where you want to be, Sarah? You want to stay right where you are?
I might like turn my chair.
Okay.
Is that okay? This is a poem by Pablo Neruda, translated from Spanish. I was gonna read it in Spanish, but it's cool.
Dad never got that learned. That's right.
We the mortals touch the metals, the wind, the ocean shores, the stones, knowing they will go on, inert or burning. And I was discovering, naming these things. It was my destiny to love and say goodbye. I'm kind of like Aunt Mary. If I start crying, I might hand it to Ellie. So Grandpa Kiefer was one of my favorite people in the whole world. Since moving to Minneapolis 2 years ago, I've been blessed to be able to visit often, more often than any other time in my life. Not surprisingly, it never felt like enough. Grandpa taught me many, many things about life. To eat radishes with salt as a snack, sometimes as lunch with butter and salt and bread. Don't short stop. We all know that he was funny, smart, and good looking. And there's more. He always said that, remember that?
We did.
Grandpa was the best storyteller, but he was also always learning and engaged in the world. He wanted to know about people and hear their story too. He taught me to be a good listener. He kept wanting to know about the world around him, even after his cancer and when he couldn't use his leg anymore. He kept reading and listening and thinking, and in that was willing to change his mind. I learned from watching him to have an open and adaptable mind, even when I feel strongly about something. I am also grateful for our times talking about the land and farming together. I felt like he was one of the only people who understood me and how much I wanted to farm, even though it didn't make sense. Caring and loving the land just doesn't add up with numbers. While we selfishly wanted you to keep being here with us, I'm glad to think that your spirit is out there with Grandma Leela, like helping Brandon, who helped him win his stock car race last night.
Pretty awesome.
Really miraculously, he won his stock car race. And bringing us a double, triple rainbow at Backbone State Park a couple of nights ago. Thank you, thank you, Grandma Leela, for teaching me so much about what is valuable in life and on earth. We are loving and remembering you. And then I have one more poem. I also had another poem by Robert Service that I thought Dad was going to read, but
Somebody else can read it.
because he really liked Robert Service. But this one's by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, so a few weeks ago when we got married, after coming out of the stage, or off the ceremony, Uncle Ray came up, or Aunt Mary came up and said it was really cool. Mom and Dad would be happy that we were all here together to celebrate. And I agree, it was really special. Then Uncle Ray later was like, when they introduced you, it was cool to hear Mr. and Mrs. Keeper Garten. And just, yeah, start thinking about that at the time, like right after they both passed and starting a new life for me and my wife. It's just special knowing that, as Amanda will say in Grandma's reading here in a minute, she talks about the life they lived and how successful it was. And just hope we can follow that path, because they showed us what a good life is like. And yeah, so thank you.
Okay. Next, we have to wave at the camera and say hi to Rachel. Hi, Rachel. She's not watching it now. This is not being live streamed, but she will be watching it later. So we wish she could hear.